Welcome! I started my journey back home with one particular place in mind to visit as a potential for a road trip with Mrs. Faceless, the Talimena Scenic Drive. As I got closer, I found myself driving along the top of a dam at Sardis Lake and thought this would be a great place to stop for a snack. But first, some caffeinated liquid magic. This reservoir is quite big, boasting a whopping 117 miles of shoreline, but as I relaxed and partook of my lunch, I was quite taken with the skeletal trees in front of me. To me, at least, I feel there must be a shot here. The caveats to that are that this is a chaotic scene, it's the middle of the day in bright sunshine, and the blue sky has nothing but wisps of cloud. So the conditions aren't exactly working for me here, but I thought I'd mark this as a point of interest and take a few shots anyway. Maybe one day I would return or pass it again on my way somewhere else. And besides, I'd been driving for a few hours and, as comfortable as my driving seat is, my butt needed a change of scenery. The chaos is quite profound, as you can see, so I took my time and wandered around trying to find the perfect spot to find a subject on its own. I got close. I liked the main tree flanked by the two smaller ones, however, I couldn't separate it from the background enough for my liking. This scene is calling for a really wide open aperture to blur the background or preferably some mist or fog behind the main subject. Maybe even still water too, with reflections. Sadly, nothing like that was going to appear at midday, with clear blue skies. It was therefore time to head onwards. I was only about 30 minutes from Talimena, but I needed to fuel up and find a good spot for sunset.
Arriving at Oklahoma Talimena National Scenic Byway on the right.
Maybe even visit the Eye to get some touristy leaflets for Mrs. Faceless. She loves that kind of thing. The good news was I'd made it here with plenty of time to scope for sunset, and this being March, Talimena Scenic Drive was actually open. The not so good news was that the tourist info was not open, but there was note indicating that one back in town was, so with plenty of time in hand, I headed back to Talimena itself. Loaded with informational leaflets, I returned to the scenic drive and started my search for two locations, one for sunset and another for my overnight park up where I wanted to do some astrophotography, if possible. And by possible I mean if I could stay awake. The Talimena Scenic Drive connects Talimena in Oklahoma with Mena in Arkansas via a 54-mile mountaintop road through the Ouachita, apologies for the pronunciation there, National Forest, with 22 scenic vista pullouts as well as several campsites and numerous trails and hiking opportunities. But what I wanted to see was the vistas, potentially for a full trip with Mrs. Faceless. The road is quite twisty in places and also quite steep in others, but after a good amount of time checking out a number of overlooks, I settled on one that I would never have guessed would have been the choice for sunset. A place called Sunset Point Vista. I guess I could have saved a lot of time and effort there. Anyway, with a little under 2 hours till sunset, I got my composition set and then I needed food. I find my jet boil invaluable when I travel, or even just go out photographing for the day. The ability to have a hot drink or some hot food really does wonders for the soul in general, not just in cold weather. Even Mrs. Faceless now looks forward to her daily coffee when we travel together. I now have 12 minutes to kill, so let's go check out these info boards which discuss the geology and formation of the region. I'll quickly pack my jet boil away now that it's cooled down. And a few minutes before food is ready, so let me refine that composition as the sun moves across the sky. What you see me doing here is masking the sun from the lens with my hand, as I'm shooting directly into the sun. This allows me to get a shot of the foreground, albeit in video mode the camera is not focused where it is for the photo. I'll get this in case I need it in post later. I do the same with my finger blocking the sun to remove any lens flare. I can now relax and wait for those nice clouds to light up the sky as the sun drops, and I get to eat that beef chili mac, which was really nice actually. And then, sadly, the light just went. So here's what I did get. A lovely orange glow and the layering of the hills, but sadly, no fiery skies. With that done, it was on to my park up for the night. And although I fell asleep, I did record some video, which showed what I missed. Overnight was spent at Panorama Vista in preparation for what was forecast to be a scattered cloudy dawn, but turned out to be mostly flat grey with a few clouds, and a lot of wind, and a serious drop in temperature. A quick picture then, just to note what the view is like. It is impressive even in this weather, and then I'll move eastwards in the hope of broken clouds. Well, east I can manage. Anywhere specific may be more of an issue right now. Not sure why, but no satellite connectivity. For a full 30 minutes. I pulled in for what I thought would be a brief stop at Lennox Vista. Not promising. Still overcast, still very flat and grey. But after some pondering, I forced myself to get out of the car to brave the wind and cold. And I am so glad I did, because this is what I got. It just goes to show, sometimes you don't need everything to be perfect. My next stop was actually my first time in Arkansas, at the Fire Lookout Tower, just past Queen Wilhelmina State Park. I'd stopped there to see if it was open and if I could climb it to get a better view of the mountaintops. Unfortunately, it wasn't. So, with nothing else to see, quickly on to Grand View Vista. Now, I'm not one for graffiti on rocks, and this does seem to be an area where the rocks and the road have lost that battle. At least it's concentrated here, but in all honesty, it does make for an interesting experience. With what must be graffiti over graffiti over graffiti, there is something quite raw and arty about the whole look. It's not necessarily aesthetically pleasing, but it does bring a gritty urban decay feel to the middle of nature. I'm not sure if that's what Arkansas is going for though. With the sky starting to darken and my toes starting to go numb, it was time for me to hit the road again. Not far from Mena, the town at the Arkansas end of the scenic drive, is Petit Jean State Park. It therefore seemed a perfect opportunity to visit and take in the 89-foot drop of the Cedar Falls Waterfall. After a short walk, I found the view blocked. Wondering what to do, I spoke to another photographer who mentioned a trail on the other side. And I could see a little platform and wondered, maybe, just maybe. As I thanked them and left, they warned me of a big thunderstorm on its way. So let's see what we can find in the time available. So for those that are inquisitive, here's the secret steps. Well, I headed round to the Rock House and the Turtle Rocks Trail and, well, you just have to be a little careful because that's off the edge. And having got down here, it seemed like such a good idea from the other side, but as soon as we get to here, A, this is a little precarious, and B, your view is massively obscured anyway. So fail. And I am not going out there. So maybe that's a good enough view for most people after all. On my way back, I stopped to look at the Turtle Rocks. Now, geologists aren't entirely sure how these were formed, however, they really are quite interesting. For rocks, that is. The wind has picked up, the temperature has dropped and it's starting to drizzle. So having had that warning earlier, that's the sign to head back to the car and head home to Mrs. Faceless and hopefully come back here again one day. Join us next time as Mrs. Faceless forgets how to walk, redeems herself at a double waterfall, and I light up everywhere I go. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed travelling along with us today, a like and a subscribe would be much appreciated. Until next time.